And we'll dive into it. Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Westcott. I am a Senior Vice President for Business Development at L2, and I work with all of our many clients on the Hill and coordinate all the partnerships that we have, including one of our strongest throughout our entire company, which is with our friends from Leidos and IQ. We have been working with them for many years and supplying the data, as well as being a great partner in terms of the actual application of constituent mapping that we're going to go through itself today. The best part about the IQ L2 relationship is that everything you're going to see here today is easily transferred. All the data we're going to be working with via what's called an API immediately into your IQ account. So it connects the data side with the the actual activation and usage of the data pretty seamlessly. So first things first, we're going to dive in here and go into constituent mapping. I'm just going to click Get App List. And when you do this, you're at login.constituentmapping.com. Again, this is all web-based. There's no software to download or anything like that. You enter a username, a password, and then select app. And what you're going to have here is going to be individual applications for each state. Now, you're just going to have your single state. In this case, I'm going to select California. We'll select Login, clear all selections. And from here, I'm actually going to make a selection of a congressional district. You won't actually have to do this. I'll do CD2 here. You won't actually have to do this process because when you log in to this point, your congressional district will already have been selected. So what I'm going to do here is just quickly kind of go through what the platform is, the data that's being offered, and sort of all of the background. And I'll shrink this right-hand side down just a little bit so you can see the map in this first part. So what we've got here on the left-hand side is, of course, the mapping functionality, the ability to zoom in, zoom out using this toggle. You have your total count of voters. Now, all the data we're working with deals with voters. It's based off the state and individual level voter files. We've got 416,000 individuals in CD2 in California. You've got 257,000 residence addresses as well. Within the map, there's a few different map views you can take, and I'll show you why this is important. If I zoom down to an area here, you can see how granular we can get. You'll see we're down to the street level, and you see all the different households we've got here. I'll click on one, and you can see there's Holly Sue Smith and Brandon Scott Ellsbury, age 58 and 36, respectively. You click on View, and here's all the information we have on that individual. Now, I'll go back to this in a moment, but one of the things you can do is if you click on this little icon, you've got these different map views. I'll switch it over to Bing Road and then Bing Aerial. And you can see here with Bing Aerial, this looks like a condo complex. So I clicked on it, and you can see these are the different folks living at these different apartment numbers. So Sean, Elizabeth, William, these different people. You've got some baseline information here, gender, birthday, age, registration, vote frequency, which I'll get into in a moment as well. You click on view of the individual record, and you can see we've got all this information here. So it's Holly Smith. Here's her landline home phone number. The way you know that is because household phone is a cell phone, false. You've got age information, continuing on down through here, marital status. Of course, all of the address information, where we're bringing in not only data from the state voter file, which is decent in California, but what we're doing is supplementing it with consumer information. So we're getting all of those apartment numbers, because in California, sometimes the state voter file and the individual county level data doesn't come with that. So we're providing the actual apartment numbers. So if you're sending a direct mail piece, through Franked Mail or a 499, you would actually be able to send it and ensure that it's getting to the individual household whom you want to target. You have some of the consumer information in here, of course, high school diploma, estimated income range, not likely to have a child, just one adult female in the house. Home value is $336,000, likely renter in a multifamily dwelling. So you've got sort of a little bit of a picture of who this individual is. Scroll all the way down through the application, and you can see this full vote history. This is across the state. Obviously, there are hundreds of elections. In many cases, she may not have even had the opportunity to vote in some of these, so she's not that terrible of a voter. But at the end of the day, we do give you those full local election histories. We have some of the consumer information, including computer owner and home, lifestyle by neighborhood, presence of children code. We'll go back into all of these here in just a little bit. So that's what you can do down to the individual level. One of the first questions we always get asked is, can you look yourself up? Of course you can. You can go into this search function and you can type in any name. So we'll just do Paul Smith. And you can see we've got 24 residences. I'm going to zoom the map back out. I'm going to go to OpenStreetMap, or actually I'll go to Bing Road. It's just a little bit clearer. And you can see here, here's all of the individuals that are named Paul Smith in this congressional district. And again, you can do that. You can do that with anybody who's maybe calling in or whatever the case may be. One of the things you're going to do is, one of the big buttons that's really important here as well is the clear all selection, reset colors. So it gives you the ability to reset, where these colors are and any of the selections that you've made. Up here in the upper right-hand corner is the About button. You click on this and you can see when the voter file was last updated. Looks like 10/8, so it was yesterday, as well as national change of address and phone match. We're updating the files anywhere from 2 to 8 times a year with new voter reg data. So as people register and come onto the files, we're updating it then. Every 30 to 90 days, somewhere in that window, we're updating what's called the national change of address match, as well as social security death index matching. So what you're getting is this huge file of people who are recently deceased and people who have recently moved, comparing it to the file. So you're making sure you're not sending it to people out of district, out of state, to the wrong households, or to people who have recently moved or died. And if you're doing teletown halls, of course, it's helpful to have those phone files updated as well. Continuing on down here, I'm going to skip over some of these selections here for a second, and then go down to data sources. Data sources here on the right-hand side is what gives you the ability to make selections. So if you go into the district, obviously you've got your congressional district, which will be, you will just see your CD within the application. I'll zoom down to a little bit more of a populated area so you get a better idea. If you go into county, you'll see you can sort your district by county. So these are the counties that make up the 2nd congressional district in California. You go into Marin and you can see here's all the precincts, here's all the county supervisor districts. You've got the state ledge districts that break up the congressional district, the state house districts that break up the congressional district, zip codes, municipalities that are part of it. And if you go in here, you go into city, do a quick sort. As you can see, most people don't live in cities within this district, but some that do, you can see we've got some of the city commissioner or council districts also broken down here as well. You've got miscellaneous districts. California is chock full of them, about 59 different miscellaneous districts, from road maintenance to flood districts, other things like that. I know some offices in the New Orleans area have asked for flood districts or levee districts, things like that. So we have those. School districts are obviously in here. And then new to district is also here as well. And what you'll see is moved within state to a new congressional district. So people who have moved from other parts of California to the 2nd congressional district within the last 6 months, that's 6,800 individuals have moved to this area from within California, 7,100 in the last 1 to 2 years, and then 6 months to a year ago, 5,600. So you can see the different kind of breakdowns there. We don't have people who have registered from out of state, but this gives you a great idea of people who have moved intrastate and have come into the district. The one other thing that we do have is registration date, so you can actually sort by when somebody registered in the district. And you can just come down here, you could say, okay, who's registered this year, say within the district, and you can see you've got 10,058 individuals. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they moved there, but you can see this is the first time they've come onto the voter file. I'm gonna clear this selection and go back to the full map. Underneath that, you've got some pretty basic, easy to understand, I should say, different types of demographics. You've got gender, marital status, military, whether somebody's active duty or not. Veteran is, of course, a huge one, 10,477 in this district. And the veteran data has been proven out by numerous offices, and really honestly on the Hill, and we actually have started working with the Veterans Administration as well, providing these data back to them. So that's how solid these data have been proven over time. So you can rest assured that you're getting a good list with this. Now, at the end of the day, you should also recognize that, with veteran flags or really any of these flags, it may not have 100% coverage, but the flags that we do have can be heavily relied upon. We have voting history is part of this as well. So if you open this up, you've got selected elections. You can go down and select a specific election or set of elections. So you want people who voted in one out of the last 3 generals. You can just select those 3 general elections, 1 or more, and you have 360,000 people in the district. You could say 3 out of 3 exactly, and that gives you 184,000 individuals who voted in these elections. Go back here, go back to 1 or more. And you can do this again with any local, municipal, primary, presidential primary, lots of different ways to break down. And again, this is available in every single state. You can also exclude elections. So if you want people who are non-voters, so people who didn't vote in the last 2 generals, you can see it's a pretty small population, actually, 58,000. So most people are voting in those general elections, in particular in California, at least. We have the voter frequency and voting performance scores. Voting frequency is a really simplistic model, taking a look at the last 8 years of voting history. So it looks at your last 4 even year general elections and last 4 even year primary elections. So if you voted in 2 generals and 2 primaries, your score is a 4. Now, what this doesn't take into account is your performance that also includes your registration date. So if you registered last year and you voted in 1 out of 1 general election, you should technically be 100% voter because you voted in every election you were eligible for. But in this list, you'd be a 1, which is a low propensity voter. So what we did was we created a voting performance score, which took into account the registration date. So you could actually see here, these individuals, you have 197,000 voters that voted, many of whom I'm sure for the first time, but they were only eligible to vote in 1 even year general, which was 2018. So they voted in it, and that's 197,000 individuals. So again, these are kind of quick, easy ways to know somebody's voting performance. If you want somebody who's never really voted but been registered, 31,810 of those individuals. We have early voting information, registration date. California provides registration method. You've got age information, and I'll take this opportunity to kind of show you the dot coloring, because people are probably looking at this and saying, is that blue? Is that all Democratic? It's actually not. Everything in our system is based on these categories, like broad ethnic grouping in this case. So we're looking at blue, which is European, red, East and South Asian, green, Hispanic, and Portuguese. So you have the different ethnic categories, and that's currently how it's colored. As you can see, most of this district is one color, mostly European. You can switch the colors here of the dots, and you could actually see now, and all I did was I clicked on this layer control icon, clicked on dots, and now you can see the map in a totally different way. And actually I saw something up here around Eureka in this area. It looks like, okay, yep. So I saw a bunch of cooler colors, so sort of the lower end of the spectrum, where you could actually see right around Humboldt State University, you can see there's a bunch of young 18 to 29-year-olds, so likely students. You also see this sort of warm pocket right here. My guess is this would be some kind of retirement community. And if you zoom down to it, you could actually see, well, yeah, I'm probably right. It's some kind of planned or otherwise retirement, older individual community. One of the things you can do, and while I'm zoomed in here, and I'll zoom up to this, is go up to shapes. And you have the option to put a polygon or a circle around an area. So any of you who have worked on campaigns and cut walk list or cut turf, you know that you can go in here, drop pins around any given area, and you'll see 178 individuals within that one little community. The other thing you can do, and again, this is up under map controls, shapes, is go up and create a circle. You can drop a circle. Let's say your member was doing an event at this area, in this area here. You could actually set a radius, and you see the counts changing as I'm pulling that in and out, or you can just set a specific, let's say 3-mile radius. I'll apply that, zoom out a little bit, and I'll actually change the map here really quick so you can see it. So that's a 3-mile radius around that area. So if you're doing a town hall of some kind, or you want to, be able to invite the public to a forum, you can do that just by dropping that pin and creating that radius. It's been a really creative way that we've seen the platform be used. Continuing on down here, so we've got the age range, as I said, is the coloring. I'm going to switch it back to broad ethnic groupings now, because that's going to be the standard color you're going to see when you get a login. You have likely religion, permanent absentee. Likely religion, I'll just open up here. You can see the breakdown. Place of birth, California is kind of unique in this sense that it does provide the actual location of birth or where somebody came from, so you can see that. Household demographics. Household demographics is going to be important because it can give you a gender and voter count, so it shows you how many people are within the household among registered voters. Household gender composition, so a breakdown of female, male, and then primary languages spoken inside the household as well. This is also where you're going to find your telephone branch. So if you're looking to do any kind of telephone outreach, I know some offices have started texting through IQ. I know other offices have also used these for teletown halls. You have access to quite a few phone numbers in here. So household telephone is a cell phone. It looks like if you put false, you've got 207,000 individuals covered by 113,000 landlines, because I selected household phone as a cell phone false. So these are your landlines. So that's a pretty good count, having about half the district. Opening up individual cell phones, you've got 176,000 other voters who have a cell phone within the district. So you want to do a texting program, here's everybody you can text. You can see those, that it does cover a significant portion of the district. Continuing on down here, you have lifestyle and issue data. I'm going to skip over issue data for the moment, just because it is a branch we're going to be sunsetting very soon, but skip down to some of the other consumer data that we have baked in here as well. So you have sort of the big three on top would be income, occupation, and education among the consumer data. So you've got estimated income range. Again, this is kind of a cool way to be able to see the district and highlight the district. I just selected estimated income range by this color scale, and you can see here where when you zoom down to an area, you have those wealthier individuals, those less wealthy, or lower income, I should say. It's not necessarily wealth, it's income derived, but you can see where those individuals are. Also within there is, of course, estimated net worth, presence of premium credit cards, state income decile, which just gives you, this is census block data, so it can show you where they are based on their overall income compared to the rest of the state of California. You also have the occupation information, which includes individual occupations. So you can see that air traffic controllers, civil servant, there's a lot of medical. So if you've talked to, I've talked to offices who are looking for pharmacists or looking for nurses, things like that, you can find those individuals. We also have broad occupation industries as well, medical, maintenance, legal, food services. Business owners, investors, and likely union members are also in there. Education, you have these categories, so whether they have a bachelor's degree, a grad degree, whatever the case might be. And it's broken down by those who are likely or extremely likely. Extremely likely is typically when we have householded information that someone in the household has a bachelor degree, so we're able to flag that household. And again, this is through our consumer partners, Experian, who we've been working with for many, many decades, and are now collecting this data, and we've tested it against many other sources. Experian has always come out on top in terms of the reliability of the data, bachelor degree, graduate degree. And if we don't know exactly in somebody's household, we'll say likely because their neighborhood, or zip +4, which is about 15 to 20 households, have a bachelor degree, and enough people in the neighborhood have it, so therefore we're going to plug all those households in with it. And then there is a percentage that is unknown as well. So that is the education level. You have home and land values, and again, this shows you homeowner versus renter. Property type is often used, so somebody who lives in an apartment versus in a single family home are all listed out here. You have dwelling type, so multi versus single family. Home life and children shows you one of the most important things in here, obviously, is presence of children. So who we know has a child, who's likely to have a child, and of course, who's likely to not have a child living in their household. And the definition of child here would be under the age of 18. So if their 37-year-old son or daughter has moved back home, that's not going to be flagged in that. So it's really those people with high school or younger age children. Social position and lifestyle and neighborhood. In here, you have kind of these funny sounding categories, aging in place, boomers and boomerangs, cul-de-sac diversity. It's all of these categories because one thing we're not allowed to give you with this file, unfortunately, due to House rules, is the party identification. So we can't show you Republican, Democrat. Now, there is another way around that I'll show you in just a little bit, but, or I wouldn't say around it, but another way to be able to see similar information that's not provided via the state voter file. But one of the things you can do in Lifestyle by Neighborhood is click on this I button, this information button, and you can see all these different categories and all the different breakdowns, power elite, all the way down to, it looks like, economic challenges. And again, socioeconomic status, a lot of different information, starting with the power elite. And you can go through and search. If you search for the word conservative, for example, you can see it appears 52 times in different categories here. And it shows traditionalists with conservative political values, the younger adults household, more progressive social issues. And so that's the generational soup categorization. So if you're looking for somebody like that, you can go back, find generational soup, and be able to make that selection and work off that audience of 512 individuals. That's Lifestyle by Neighborhood. I'll skip down here to hobbies and interest data. This is where your gun ownership information is going to be, as well as concealed weapons permit holder information. This is state level information we're collecting from governments where it's available. We do have it in all 50 states and DC. Some cases it's hunting and fishing licenses. Sometimes we know the exact gun ownership data because the state does provide it. When you're talking about some of this consumer data, the hobby and interest data, this is more related to purchases. So every time you've ever had a credit check or anything like that, it scans your credit card and we'll look for these different purchases. So arts, photography, aviation. It's basically saying, okay, have you gone to a basketball game, you know, and bought tickets in the last, 2 years. It's typically a 2-year window that they're looking at your credit, credit purchases. So that might mean you have an interest in spectator sports basketball, or you bought a specific package for DirecTV or something like that, where we'd be able to flag exactly your interest. And again, so it won't tell us how much you spent or how often you spend, but it will say that somebody has actually made one of these purchases in the last 2 years. It's pretty interesting, narrowed down information. We work with an office in Ohio recently who was doing something with the Mint, and they wanted to do something with coin collectors. So we were able to go in, and you'll see right on top here, coin collector and household, 15,000 individuals live in a household that have coin collectors in them. So that's pretty decent coverage, and definitely a good group to be able to reach out to. Contribution information, again, this is all consumer-based. We don't allow, unfortunately, the House doesn't allow us to put in the FEC data, Federal Election Commission data, but we do have this consumer information. So you can see donates to veterans causes, children's causes, healthcare. And again, this is in the last 2 years based off of that credit card spending and contribution information. I'm going to skip over these categories: digital media advertising, media targeting, and census data, just for now, just because they're pretty rarely used by the actual offices. We do include them. Sometimes they are used. If you have an interest, I'd be happy to talk to them later on today. The last thing I want to get to on this right-hand panel, at least this lower section, is Haystack Dna Flags. So what Haystack DNA is a predictive analytics firm. And for the last about 5 or 6 years now, we've done work with Haystack DNA, where they have created nationwide predictive models. What that means is tens of thousands of calls going out across the country, as well as emails, text messages, online surveys, collecting survey information based off of our national voter file. And then they bring it back in, and based on those responses, assign scores between 0 and 100 to every voter in the country. So if you're if you're likely to be pro-life, you're going to score anywhere from 50 plus on the pro-life score. If you're likely to support casinos, again, 50 plus. If you're likely against casinos, it's going to be 49 down to 0. So that's where those scores do come from. Continuing on down here, continuing on down here, we have the flag section. So if you go down to Haystack DNA Flags, you can see these are the individual top 10 to 15% of of individuals within the district. So meaning attends church frequently, this is the top of the model. So these 50,000 individuals, if you're gonna look for somebody who goes to church frequently or is most likely to go to church frequently, again, it's a model, it's not known data, 50,918 people to be able to pull from. Border wall opposed support, death penalty, gun control, Mueller special counsel investigation. Now I mentioned there's some other things. We have fiscal conservative liberal. This is not party information. This is all based again on survey information and people self-identifying as a liberal or a conservative, hence why we can put it in there. News source, CNN versus Fox versus MSNBC. GMO, I mean, there's lots of these. It's about 100 or so different models that we have that are part of this categorization. And I saw a question flash up here. Somebody had messaged me saying that they noticed that these are not available in their account. Now this is an extra product and you want to talk to your IQ rep about that. Basically, there's 3 levels of data, and it might even be more granular than that. So I apologize if I'm not explaining it right. But the way we've sort of categorized it is you have all the data that comes standard with this file, which is all of the consumer fields, all the phone fields, all of the mailing address, obviously the voter information is all included as part of this standard package. The Haystack data is another level. So these are specific data that you would have to purchase. And then you have the email information. So if you were looking to have an email included as well, and of course I picked an application which didn't have the email flag in here, but that would come in right underneath Haystack and early voting. You would see a private branch. So if L2 was going to provide email addresses to you, it would be in a private branch at the very bottom. It typically goes anywhere from 25 to 50% of the district. California in particular, we have quite a few emails. So basically you're able to target those individuals and micro target those individuals to whom you want to email. So that is all of that information in there. So that's what will be here on the right hand side. Scrolling back up to the top here, you have the universe selection. So let me show you exactly how you would end up using these data. So if you went in and let's say you wanted those new movers who moved into your district anytime in the last 2 years. I made the selection. It's 19,689 individuals. You can go up to universes, and I'm just going to delete these just to not confuse things. And I'll just say new movers, click create. And what you've done is created it. And the best part about this is it automatically via, again, an API will push these data directly over to IQ. So it will appear as one of your audiences where it says new movers, and you'll be able to activate against it. So mail, whatever it is you might want to do. One of the other things that you can do that's nice in here, and I know you can do this in IQ as well, but one of the things you can do is create a random sample 499. So you can create as complex a universe as you'd like. I'm going to clear selections here. I'm going to go back to the 2nd Congressional District. And I'm going to create a pretty complex universe. So let's take those new movers again, and we'll go down and we'll say people who vote in the last 1 out of 4 general elections, and people who are 18 to 40, and people who are these 3 ethnic categories, and I don't know, let's try one more, live in a multifamily dwelling. So that's a lot of different complex selections, but we still have 2,728 individuals. One of the things you can do is go up to universes, type in, I'll just put in 499-1, and there's your 499, create as a sample. And what you have to do is just fill this out. Random sample versus cluster, you want a random sample, 499 records. You don't have to worry about the telephone confidence code. I'm just going to put disregard because it's not for a phone sample, it's for a mail sample or an email sample, depending on what you're pulling. And then voters having a record of phone of any type. I'll say all voters regardless of phone, because it doesn't matter whether they have a phone or not. Select create universe, and that's your 499. And so you can be able to pull from there. And that's pretty much how you can how you can work with these data. And again, that will transfer immediately over to IQ seamlessly, which is a really nice way to be able to utilize it. One of the other things that you can also do, and what I'll do is I'll deselect the 499, select the new movers selection, which has 19,689 people, go up to reports, and under this is PDF reports. Select generate report. And again, this is a really simple way to be able to look at even a really complex universe. You can select a very specific area based on a radius or something like that. So of those 19,000 new movers, let's learn a little bit about them. Select download from here, click on this, and what you're able to see is here's report 1, generated for universe new movers. So it's got the universe name, little L2 logo, all of this. And then you have all the information. So among California voters that you've selected, gender, it's mostly female who have moved to the district in the last 2 years, mostly single, small percentage of veterans, the vote frequency, so mostly lower propensity voters. You have the individual ethnic breakdown. The largest single breakdown outside of Caucasian is going to be Hispanic. Continuing on down here, likely religion, looks like the largest would be Protestant and Catholic, and then goes down from there. Congressional state house districts, the cities that make up, and the town districts that make up the congressional district. You've got the household voter count, gender composition, all of these data that you can bring back to, you know, your chief or the member themselves and basically say, here's the list we're going to target. Does this look good to you? And they can then sign off on it. So it's kind of a quick, easy way. The other cool part about this is that you can deselect these two, and it has no branding on it at all from L2. So you could deliver this report essentially and make it look like it's something you created and spent hours on. So I know a lot of offices do like to use it for that. And from there, I'll just go back, reselect CD2. And that is the bulk of the presentation. I see we've got some questions here through the messaging function. I'm just going to open this chat window up. And it looks like, just one note here from Leidos is that you can reach out to house.sales@leidos.com. Again, house.sales@leidos.com if you have any questions or want additional info on either the Haystack or emails or other data. There was also a question here, can you show any universe to save an L2? Oh yeah, we did go through that and how it automatically happens in the background as well. Yeah, that's how the data actually transitions over to IQ. One of the things that's also good to know, and I'm just gonna buy these universes, you never have to do this function because you will own all the records. I'm just doing it quickly as an example. So again, don't worry about this. Close this up. If you go in to, let's say, the new movers, you can click on this file here. You have 6 export options. Again, it will automatically go to IQ, but you can also download either a simple, which is a 25-column export, enhanced, which is a 550-column export, or 650 if you have the Haystack data, or an individual L2 ID, which is just L2's unique identifier. Let's take a simple, where you could go through, generate report, and one of the things you'd be able to see, I'll wait for this to generate, is the actual spreadsheet of all of the data that you have down here below. Click here, simple, open this up. And you'll see here, oops, there we go, sorry about that. Some other stuff up here. Simple, there it is. And there are your IDs, walk list, state voter ID, residence ID, all of the different information. Here's your phone numbers and a whole lot of background data. And that's how you can actually download the data itself and work within it. So that's, again, that's the presentation. And I guess from here, one of the things you can do, I believe there is a way within Zoom meeting that you could actually raise your hand to ask a question. I'd be happy to take any of those at this point if you have them. And I'll just unmute you and we can go from there. The other way to do it is if you don't want to come onto the recording, you can just come in and type in a message to me and just shoot me a direct message and I can read the question aloud as well. I don't want to unmute everybody all at once because I'm fearful that that'll just be a lot of people who are unmute. Everybody will start talking at once. So again, if you have a question and would like to message that to me, please feel free to shoot that over. Let's go into the messages here. All right, well, it seems like we are all set then. Again, feel free to, reach out to me at any point in time with any questions here. And of course, talk to your Leidos reps and IQ reps, to make sure that you get any questions you might have off your chest about pricing or anything like that. And again, I'm happy to do this webinar specifically for an individual office if you're looking to come on board. Thank you so much for the time today.